Hi, Lydia, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome once more to tonight's conversation, where we are going to be discussing a very important topic. Okay, I hope we are all set for this amazing session. If you are here and you know someone that you think will benefit from this session, please feel free to share the link to your friends, your family members, anyone that the session and what we are going to be discussing tonight will be very, very, very important too. Okay, we can do that in the next few seconds before my screen comes up and we jump right into what we have for tonight. Okay, so I'm going to bring up my screen while we jump into our discussion for tonight. So it's going to be a very interactive class where we discuss the top 8 jobs that you can easily use, the top 8 jobs that you can easily get 8 highest paying jobs for 2025 in UK, US, Canada, and how to secure them with your past working experience. Okay, so tonight we're going to be discussing how you can be able to land all these roles with your past working experience. Okay, my screen should be coming up any moment from now. Okay, please confirm that I can see my screen, Lydia. Yeah, I'm sure I can see it myself. So, hello everyone, welcome once more to the discussion for tonight. Like I said, we are going to be discussing top 8 highest paying jobs for 2025 in UK, US, Canada, and how to secure them with the initial experience that you already have from the jobs that you are coming from. You know, sometimes what happens when we try to move into a new job is that we always think that we are going to lose out on all the years of experience that we've been able to get before then. But tonight, I'm going to walk you through how this can be done without you losing your years of experience. Okay, I hope everyone can hear me loud and clear. Okay, so before we jump right into discussion, I would love to know you and where you are joining us from. Okay, so just feel free to type in your name and the country that you are joining us from so that we can get to know each other easily. Okay, just type in your name and the country that you are joining us from before we jump right into the discussion that we have for tonight. Okay, I can see a couple of comments. I can see Daniela from Nigeria. I can see Adesua from Ontario. Sunday from Canada. April from Nigeria. Joy from France. Hamidit from Nigeria. Bami Dele from US. Chibuzo from UK. Masinachi from Ireland. Tessie UK. Joshua Nigeria. Tony from UK. Eloho from UK. Amazing. Let's keep it coming. Also from Ontario. Edward UK. Lydia Santorini. And of course, every other person that we have on the call. Kenny from Canada. So I always tell people that the beauty of sessions like this is that you get to actually meet people from different regions across the world, okay? On the call, we have people from Nigeria, we have people from Canada, we have people from Ireland, we have people from US, and we have people from UK, of course. So this is the beauty of the tech ecosystem, that from anywhere you are across the globe, you can easily connect with your peers anywhere. And that's how easy it is also for you to be able to land jobs across those places. Okay, so I'm going to jump right into the discussion for tonight. I can still see a couple of intros coming in. Taiwo from UK. We see you all. Obi from Ontario and from UK, Samuel from Nigeria, Esther from Nigeria, Ginika from UK, Sheila from UK. All right, Samson from France. You are all welcome to this session. Like I've said before, if you know anyone that tonight's session is going to be very, very beneficial to, please feel free to share the link to this masterclass with them so that they can join and hear what we have to discuss for tonight. And also, my colleagues are going to be dropping the attendance sheet as well. Please make sure that you use the attendance sheet so that I can get the recording of this session and also the materials that we are using for the conversation. So before we jump right into what we are doing tonight, let me first of all tell you the company that organized this event, and that is Tenalytics. And we are the leading educational technology company that is helping people of the Black community to break into the tech ecosystem. And how we do this is by lowering the entry barrier and making it possible for people to transition from any career path they are currently in into the tech industry. And we've been doing this for the last close to 5 years. and will help over 2,000 people move from the classroom into landing their first job in UK, US, Canada, Europe, Africa, and of course, Asia. And the 8 courses that we offer ranges across data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analysis, HR analytics, agile project management, cybersecurity, and soon to come AI engineering. And how we help people to move is by bringing in amazing experienced experts from the job to come to the classroom and talk to students using real life experience. Okay, these people come from all amazing companies that I can think of to come here and teach using the experience they get from the jobs that they are doing. And this is also to give you the good news that Tenalytics currently got into the Alberta Catalyzer program that started running last month. Okay, so you can click on the read more here to read more on what the Alberta Catalyzer program is all about. So the program basically is to help companies to innovate and scale to a higher level, okay? And this is going to help us make it more better for people coming into Tenalytics to transition from there, right? Feel free to click on read more for you to be able to get to know more about what we are currently doing. And who am I that's going to be talking to us tonight? So my name is Chukwuemeka Ekpa, and currently I am the CEO of Tenalytics, and I've helped over 1,000 individuals without any technical background into the tech industry by helping them also secure their first job. And I'm a technology consultant with nearly a decade of experience in governance, risk and compliance, and of course, strategic consulting. I've worked in the banking sector as a GRC expert. I've worked in the fintech ecosystem as a head of control. I've worked in the fintech industry as a data analyst and also in the hospitality sector. So over the years, I've been in the financial sector, capital markets, hospitality industry, and right now I'm in the educational technology sector to give back to the society. You can follow me across the socials, LinkedIn at Chukwuemeka Ekpa, Twitter, Emeka_HYEST, and then Instagram, Ekpa_Chooks. So we are going to be jumping right into what we have for tonight. So the first thing we are going to be talking about basically is the top 8 highest paying jobs in Europe and of course, North America. Then also Africa, you are not left out. Then the pathway to becoming a tech professional and securing a job. And of course, we'll also talk to you about the Tenalytics Growth Internship Program, as well as our special discount offer to you by virtue of being on this exact call. All right, so before we continue, I want to just ask us a couple of questions. I mean, this is November. We are almost at the 11th month. We are in the 11th month already. Okay, we are nearing the end of the year. So how do you feel really? How are you? So I would love to know how we feel generally. How are you? So please feel free to converse with me through the chat box. Let's get to know how you are feeling. All right. Ray says stressed. Amazing. Ray said that he is stressed. Okay, that's good to know, Ray. I'm sure most people at this moment are already feeling tired. A couple of things they plan to do this year didn't materialize and they are tired. Okay, so it is very, very courageous of you to actually speak openly that you are stressed. Why I use the word fine is that that's the normal word that we all get. Anytime you are asked, how are you? You always respond, I am fine. But there are a couple of things underlying under that fine. Okay, and I'm happy that people are being open about this. Rere said stress. Sheila said undefined. Kenny said unfulfilled. Ike mentioned my mental health is messed up. Okay, so I mean, it's really, really a lot that of everything that in the chat box now, we can all see how it has been with a couple of people. So I'm just here to mention that it is not yet over. Okay, it is not yet over. It is not yet over. What we always feel is that once the year is almost over, people feel, oh, the year is done. Let me just pack it up. Let me just wrap it up and continue by next year. But make sure that you understand that it is not yet over. Okay, even though the year is almost over, it is not over yet. A lot of things can still change, and it boils down to you. Okay, towards the ending part of the year, some people make plans. Towards the ending part of the year, some people relax. Towards the ending part of the year, some people go on vacation. It depends on how you see it. But most important thing is that if you feel unfulfilled, if at the moment you feel unfulfilled, if you feel undefined, if you feel that you've procrastinated a lot, just know that it is not yet over. All right. Becky mentioned that she feels she wasted her time this year, though a lot of procrastination. You are not alone, Becky. Personally, I wasted my own time as well. Early this year, I said I'm going to hit the gym. That's why I mentioned by January 1st, that was my New Year resolution because I'm very slim. So I said, oh, this year I'm going to build muscle. I'm going to, bulk up. But I never entered the gym even one day until ending October. I should be around October 26th. I just, woke up one day and walked into the gym. And since that day, I've not looked back. Okay. And this is just to tell you that sometimes we always wait for the perfect time. We're always waiting, oh, I'm going to do this by January 1st. I'm going to do this by Q1. I'm going to do this by Q2 or by Q3. But we need to know that the perfect time is not always perfect. It can be November 31st. It can be November 12th. It can be October 31st. It can be December 7th that you make your own decision to build what you want to do. So this thing we call procrastination, saying I'm going to do this next time, I'm going to do this January, I'm going to do this February, it is something that is always trapping. Okay, you can always say, oh, by January, I'm going to break into the tech industry. But by that January, people that want to be in tech have already broken into that exact industry, which is why I said the year is almost over, but it isn't over yet. The most important thing for you to do is to have a plan. Once you're able to plan out, okay, this is what I want to achieve by next year, the time to start building it is right now, which is if you want to get into tech ecosystem by January, the time to start learning is right now. Okay, so jumping into what we have for tonight, we mentioned top 8 courses that you can easily learn. Remember, our topic for tonight is top 8 highest paying jobs for 2025 in the UK, US, Canada, and how to secure them with your past working experience. Okay, but before I continue, also, just one more exercise. I would love to know if anybody here, if you've been to any of our sessions before now, or if today is the first time that you are joining our session. So if today is the first time you're joining our session, please just type in 1 or FX or anything so that I also know how to construct the discussion for tonight. But if you've been here before, feel free to type in any number that you want to, okay? All right, you can see a couple of firsts, you can see a couple of firsts. Krista mentioned 10, which means Krista has been here before. Okay, amazing. I think we'll have enough first timers today. Okay, like I mentioned, let's look at the UK market. Okay, top jobs for 2025 in the UK. So if you look at it closely, I want us to look at my screen and be able to also work with me. Okay, the jobs that you can see there: software engineer, accountant, administrative assistant, healthcare professionals, architect, electrical engineer, nurse practitioner, teacher, financial analyst, data analysis, artificial intelligence psychologist, information technology manager, blockchain, Java developer, primary school teacher, chief executive and senior officials, information security analyst, pilot, care assistant, marketing specialist, management consultant or consulting, marketing and sales director, project management, and then customer service representative. So these are the top jobs for 2025 in UK, sourced across the web. Okay, so if you go across the web and just type top jobs 2025 in UK, these are the jobs that you are going to get. But I want to also ask us a question. Of all these jobs that we can see on my screen, which one do we think you can easily get into that will also give you high rewarding salary? Okay, when we talk about easily getting into it, peradventure you want something that you can easily, within a space of 4 to 6 months, want to be able to have this knowledge and also offer you high rewarding salary. Which one do we think meets all those criteria? Okay, so let's also engage in the chat box. Do you think that in the next 4 months that you can get into being a pilot? Or do you think you can also get into being a blockchain developer or becoming a software engineer or being a marketing analyst and so on and so forth? Okay, please, let's keep it coming. Kemi mentioned business analysis, but it's not there. Amazing. I'm going to also address that. Hamidit mentioned consulting. Consulting, great. If you want to get into consulting, make sure that you have experience to back it up, okay? Because for you to consult, you need to have experience of what you are consulting on. Okay, so if you take a look at my screen, you can clearly see a couple of jobs that is going to be top in 2025 in the UK market. Okay, so I'll still address it fully for us to understand what each and every one of them entail. Software engineering, you can't really learn it in the 4 to 6 months and be able to land role. Accountants, you can't be an accountant in 4 months and jump into a job. Administrative assistant, you can't be able to do this, but will it give you high rewarding salary? That is where the question now comes in. Same thing as healthcare professionals, architects, electrical engineering. But when you see the ones like financial analysts, data analysis, artificial intelligence psychologist, information technology manager, these are jobs that you can comfortably be able to get into within a space of 4 months, and they also give you high rewarding salary. So I'll still touch base with all of them, but let's look at the US market, because I know we have people in US here. You can see the ones that are also going to grow: data science, nurse practitioner, cybersecurity, senior carer, IT manager. So all these jobs, which one of them do you also think is going to give you the high income and you can easily get into them in the next coming months? So here as well, the IT jobs are also taking the lead. You can see data science, you can see cybersecurity, you can see computer science analysts, you can see information security analysts, can see financial managers, you can see machine learning, you can see data analysis, statisticians, you can also see artificial intelligence. So clearly, IT also plays key role in top jobs for 2025 in the US market. Okay, let's look at the Canadian market also. So you'd also agree with me that there are also IT roles fully registered here, and of course, healthcare roles. So what this is saying is that clearly the IT are the jobs that are going to be high demand. Even in Africa as well, you can see number one, there is digital marketing, data science, cybersecurity, market research analysts, information and communication, artificial intelligence, and of course, transportation and logistics analysts. So this is clearly telling you that across the globe, IT is topping the chart amongst the jobs that are going to be in high demand. So also Robert Half, like we all know, so I also still clarify why business is not there. So I'll still clarify it, okay? Robert Half, like we all know in UK, have predicted for their own 2025 what is going to happen. So of the 46 of the companies that they carried out surveys with, 46% of companies plan to increase salaries by. Okay, Lydia, I think people can unmute themselves. Please need to rectify that. Okay. All right. I think the host also muted me. That's fine. So the most notable is the tech and IT sector, right? So what this is showing is that companies plan to increase salaries as well by 2025. And the sector that is spearheading it is the tech and IT industry. And why they want to do this is to stay competitive in the higher market and, of course, to attract skilled talent. Like I mentioned, please make sure you fill the attendance form so that you can easily read more on some of these things that we've attached the links to them and be able to digest it from your own aspect. Okay, my colleagues are dropping the attendance form, so make sure you fill it so that we can send the slide for this class and also the recording that we are using, the recording that is going to come out of it. Okay, but what are the actual tech careers? So the tech careers are actually all these 8 courses that we have listed here. So what we also did is to scrape all the job boards that you can think of. The LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Total Jobs, CV Library, and so much more to get the jobs that had the highest postings for the year. Okay? So, okay, unfortunately, I have to leave early, but I'll pay attention. Okay, all right, that's fine, Anthony. All right, so we scraped all these job boards to get the jobs that had the highest posting for the year. And of all those jobs, you can see the 8 jobs that we were able to see from there. Number 1 is business analysis, Scrum Master, data analyst, data science, data engineers, cybersecurity analysts, financial analysts, and of course, HR analysts. And what did we exactly do? So of all the jobs that were posted this year, we also pass them through our own metrics of analysis, which is which one gives you the ease of learning, okay? Which means which one can you easily learn and be able to understand. Then ease of transitioning, talking about which one can you have transferable skills from what we've been doing before now. You have things you can bring from there into this new sector that you want to move into, okay? And the next one is the one that also offers you high return on your investment, which is high rewarding salary. So that's how we were able to come up with all these 8 courses: business analysis, Scrum Master, data analysis, data science, data engineers, cybersecurity, financial analyst, and of course, HR analyst. Then what next did we do? We also try to validate, because everyone is mentioning tech is getting saturated, and this job I'm taking, is it going to be in demand in the next couple of years? So we also try to validate the potency of all these jobs. Are they going to be in demand in the next coming years? And what we did is to look at the World Economic Forum report. So right there, you see the future of jobs. Okay, you will see the future of jobs in the World Economic Forum report. And from it, on my left-hand side, you will see all the jobs that are going to grow. While on my right-hand side, you see the jobs that are going to decline. Okay, so if you look at the ones that are going to decline, you see one funny one here, which is product managers. Product managers. So who would have thought that product management would be part of jobs that are going to decline? But I'm going to explain this to you also. You also see things like management and organizations analysts. You're going to see other jobs that are going to decline. So it's important for you to be able to read hand in hand together with jobs that will be growing for 2025, top jobs in UK, US, Canada, and also try to merge it with the ones that are going to be in demand in the next coming years. So clearly, you still see all those 8 courses that we identified as part of jobs that are going to be in demand in the next coming years. Number 1 is AI and machine learning specialists. So this speaks to the data scientists fully, right? When you hear about AI and machine learning, it's talking about fully data science. It's a derivative of data science. And then next one, you're seeing business intelligence analysts, BI analysts. So these are also data analysts. Okay, so let me handle the ones in red. You also see the next one in red, data analysts and scientists. So clearly, data scientists and analysts are going to be constantly in demand in the next coming years. So looking at the blue one, you see information security analysts. Okay, and this is a derivative of cybersecurity. Okay, you can also look at the ones underneath, the ones in green, big data specialists, data engineers, and of course, database architects, which speaks to data engineering. And of course, you can see process automation specialists, which speaks to business analysis. So people wondering whether business analysis is part of it, 100%, you are fully secured because it's part of it. Now, if you look at the jobs on the left-hand side as well, we are going to notice that there are jobs there that we didn't select. Okay, they are going to grow. Things like blockchain developers, the way we saw it in the one that the slides before now, DevOps engineers, blockchain developers, fintech engineers, robotic engineers, they are going to constantly grow. But is it a job that will give you ease of learning? All right? Will it give you ease of transitioning? And will it also give you high rewarding salary? 100%. The last one, it will 100% give you high rewarding salary. But the ease of learning, can you become a robotics engineer in the next 4 months? The possibility is very, very slim. Okay, it is very, very slim. And that is why it is not part of the 8 courses that you can easily transition in the nearest future for you to be able to get into these things. So continuing, you can also see other jobs that are also going to grow. Database and network professionals, which also speak to data engineers and cyber security. Then you will see project managers, okay? And that talks about Agile Scrum project manager. And likely I'll tell you that this is the reason why product managers are declining, because companies are now looking for professionals that work with Agile methodologies, okay? Companies are moving away from waterfall and adopting the Agile methodology. And that's why there's a decline in the need for product managers and an increase in the need for Agile project guys. You also see jobs like financial analysts and also supply chain and logistics specialists. So if at the moment, your current role is on the right-hand side, you need to have a rethink about it. Okay, if your current role is on the right-hand side, things like, let me look at the right-hand side, you have jobs like accountants and auditors, we have telemarketers, we have client information and customer service workers, we have insurance underwriters, and so many more. So if your job is part of jobs that here, someone came to me and said, oh, I did software testing, but I've not been able to land a role. So I told him, do you know about the World Economic Forum report? And right here, you comfortably see that software testers are part of jobs that are going to decline. Okay, and the reason is also because companies are now working with Agile methodologies, which is right when they're trying to even deploy any product into the market, there are tests that are carried out by the exact project team, okay, which makes it hard for companies to now hire software testers specifically, because Agile has a portion where testing is also done. If you're working with Jira, there's an aspect of testing that you have to also be able to carry out. So this is the reason why it is going to decline. So please make sure that your own part of jobs is on the left-hand side, because that's the jobs that are going to grow. So we may not be able to touch everything here, but if you fill the attendance form, of course, you get access to this slide, and then you can comfortably go through all of them specifically yourself and also be able to understand, okay? So make sure you fill the attendance form. Once you get it, click here. If you click here, it's going to lead you to the site where the report was posted from, and then you can comfortably be able to read it end to end for yourself. So all these things that we've mentioned doesn't mean that it's just data analysts that is going to grow. It doesn't mean that. For instance, under data analytics, you are going to see data analyst jobs there. You are also going to see things like business intelligence analysts. You are going to see marketing analysts. You are going to see sales analysts, a lot of other analytical roles, okay? You're also going to see procurement analysts, operations analysts, customer analysts, and so much more, which means it's not just the ones that speak to data analytics, all right? There are a couple of derivatives that is under it that will also be part of jobs that are going to grow. So of all those 8 jobs, you are not just specifically looking for the ones that is just on the main heading, right? You can also transition through the ones that has the subheadings. For instance, under data science, you have things like your demand planner, you have your machine learning engineer, you have your forecasting analyst, you have your NLP developer, and of course, computer vision engineer. Then under data engineering, you have things like your AWS cloud engineer, GCP, Azure engineer, and of course, ETL developer. Same thing as cybersecurity. There are several derivatives under each and every one of them. Okay, for business analysis, you can also see things like process analyst, business systems analyst, systems analyst, improvements analyst, change management analyst, and of course, operations analyst. Same thing with financial analyst, HR analyst, and of course, agile project management and cyber security. So I don't know for you whether you've been able to identify the career path that you want to transition through. So I just want to see if we've been able to identify where we want to be able to transition through. Just type it in the chat box. We are still going to explain each and every one of them individually to make sure that you have a general understanding of it. Okay, so please type in the chat box if you've seen a career path that you think is where you want to transition through, so that I'll be sure that people are actually following me to this very moment. I can't see anything. Are you sure people are here hearing me? Okay, I can see a couple of chats dropping in. iPhone said data science. Emmanuel mentioned the attendance form does not highlight data science. Okay, we'll rectify that. Gineka mentioned HR analytics. Reda mentioned open to trying data analytics. Becky said cyber security. Ike said I'm here. Also mentioned business analysis. Bamidele mentioned business analysis and financial analysis. She said agile project management. Obina, data analysis or science, data analytics, processing it or IK. What is the difference between data analytics and data governance, please? Okay, so quickly, I'm just going to give you a hint before we get into it. So data analytics is more of you analyzing data to bring out insights from it. While data governance, you are looking at the aspect of data protection that is more tilted to the GRC aspect of things, which is cybersecurity. So that is more like a summary of it. But I'll still explain all these courses one after the other. I'll explain all of them one after the other. Okay, so I can see a lot of analyst roles, data analyst, data science, amazing. I'm happy that you people are following me. So if at this moment you still have not selected any career path, don't fret not. I'm going to explain all of them one after the other, okay? I did a knowledge test and I failed woefully. I don't think it's for me. All right, that's fine, Becky. Would get there. Okay, I'll still explain what each of those courses are fully so that we can be able to choose the one that also fits our own side of things. All right, so moving on. For you to be able to land jobs, there are three basic things that you need to do. Okay, for you to be able to land jobs, there are three basic things that you need to do. One is you need to learn. Okay, you need to learn. Then number two is you need to also package. I used to tell people that packaging is very, very key. Someone mentioned that like anytime his friends post on LinkedIn and he reads it, like he always feels cringe. And I was like, okay, I mean, how can you be looking for a job and they're saying posting on LinkedIn is a cringy thing to do? And next is for you to be able to apply. So three things. Number one is for you to learn. Okay. Number two is for you to package. And number three is for you to apply. So these are things that will definitely help you land a role. Okay. For you, these are things that will help you to land a job. The challenge sometimes that some people learn, some people even package themselves, but applying to job becomes a challenge. So I always tell people as well that applying to a job is a job on its own. For you to be able to land an interview invite, you need to apply to tons and tons of jobs, which is what makes it very, very important for you to take it very, very seriously. So three things: learn, package, apply. And in-demand tech skills, like I've mentioned, the top 8 courses that is going to help you move into the best career path. And you can also bring in your initial years of experience into them. Like I mentioned, is data analytics, data science, business analysis, data engineering, cybersecurity, financial analytics, project manager, and of course, HR analytics. Then the packaging aspect talks about how do you show yourself to be an employable person. Okay, in the tech ecosystem, many of us have the skill. We can code from here to Africa, we can code from here to UK and America and everywhere. But can you package yourself? Everything in our head, can you put it in a paper that will even get to the company before you get there? So I always tell people that your CV is like a walking signboard of you. And if you are not able to package it very well, it's not even going to get to that place and make sure that you are able to come in and defend yourself. Lydia, I think some people can still unmute themselves. This shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. All right. So I think I've been able to make that settings. All right. So for the packaging aspect, that's where you now have your employability services, your CV review sessions, your LinkedIn optimization session, your mentorship session, your interview prep session, and of course, job reference and recommendation letter. In these countries I mentioned, recommendation and reference letters are very, very important. They are very, very important, of course, on the job support. Then apply to jobs, apply aggressively. These are things that will help you to land a role. I was reading a survey and it mentioned that for you to land one job interview in a month, you need to apply to 27 jobs in a week. 27 jobs application in a week, that's what's going to help you land one job interview in a month. If you do the maths, you are going to see the number of jobs you need to apply in a month. But how many of us here today can comfortably say that in the last 1 week, they've applied to even up to 20 jobs? Okay, and that's where the challenge comes in. When you learn, when you package yourself, you still have to also be able to apply. And the thing is, there are people that have been able to utilize this exact strategy to move from the classroom into their first roles. So we have someone like Abigail. Abigail moved from being a care worker in Canada to becoming a business analyst with the government of Alberta. Okay, so if you are a carer here, or you are working in the warehouse, or doing jobs that you just landed in the UK, US, or Canada, and you just want to get started first, don't think that that is what you are going to be doing forever. Okay, you might make the ends meet for now, but on a long run, what is your exit plan? Okay, and if you think you can't get into the tech sector, just make sure you watch what Abigail said. So you can click here afterwards to listen to what she said that helped her transition her own time. Okay, we also have people like Oluwatosin. Oluwatosin transitioned from being a customer service person to landing a job as a fraud analyst, okay, where he helps to prevent credit card frauds. Then we'll have Ramat. Ramat landed a role as a business analyst in UK, and it gave her full visa sponsorship. Then Temi Vaughan, Temi moved from being a lawyer to becoming a business analyst as well. Then Abdurrashid presently still resides in Nigeria, but he was able to land a role in Nigeria and is working for Child 420 in the US. So this is to tell you that it is 100% possible for you to also make your own transition. Okay, I don't know the sector of the economy you are coming from, but these 5 people on my screen sort of represent a general landscape of the possible jobs out there. Temi is coming from a non-technical area. He is coming from being a lawyer. Abigail is coming from being a carer. Tosin is coming from being a normal corporate person. Same thing with Ramat. And of course, Abdurrashid also. And there are still others that made also the move. Joel moved from being a chemical engineer into landing a role as a data engineer. Okay, and Joel landed a remote job working fully as a data engineer. Vivian did her own data science program, and when she completed her training in May, in June she got data science job working remotely in France. I know someone joined us here from France as well. So Vivian got her second job as well as an associate manager and data business analytics in the UK. So you can see how easy people can easily move from one role to the other. Oluwadamilare also made that same move. And of course, Ikmat. I always love Ikmat's story because what she always mentioned is she was able to move from being a stay-at-home mom into landing a job in the tech ecosystem. And she landed 2 roles that she had to now make a selection of the one that suits her purpose. Okay, I think I'm going to play Ikmat's video so that we can quickly hear what Ikmat had to say before we continue. So quickly, let's hear what Ikmat had to say before we continue. All right, just in the next 3 minutes. I know it's not up to 3 minutes, just in the next few seconds. Let's hear what Ikmat had to say.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat, and
I have 12 emails, 30 messages, and a proposal due by 10.
Sorry about that.
How am I already underwater?
I'm in the same boat.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat, and I was with the March cohort in Tenalytics, and joining Tenalytics has been the best decision so far. For me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Tenalytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. In Tenalytics, they will hold your hands like a child, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it's the best decision ever, because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student, and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have Tenalytics to go back to. They are the best, and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. The most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's a very good advantage. So yes, Tenalytics for the win.
All right, great. I hope we heard what Ikmat had to say. So 2 months into her own program with us here, she got jobs, but she was not able to take it because she was still a student and had limited working hours. All right, but afterwards, she also landed 2 other jobs 2 months after she was done with her own training. Okay, and this is, she now had to make the choice of where she wants to be. And this is someone coming from a background of full housewife. Okay, full housewife. Now, I know Becky mentioned that she has a background of being a teacher back in Nigeria. There are always transferable skills from what you've done. So I'm going to use teaching as an example right now. So easily, by me looking at it, as a teacher, you've been able to interact with your students. You've been able to interact with your fellow teachers. You've been able to interact with the parents. And by that virtue of interaction, this is you serving as a stakeholder, and you are interacting with different stakeholders in that exact industry. Okay, and you can easily elicit information from the parents and use it to do what you are going to teach them. You elicit information from your co-teachers, from the principal, and you are using it to guide how you are going to teach. This is you performing elicitation methods. This is you doing requirements gathering. This is you doing stakeholder analysis without you knowing. So from me looking at your teaching background, you've carried out business analysis without even knowing. So sometimes we've had instances where we've done things that relate to the tech environment, but because we don't have that sector understanding, we can't put it into landscape. So for instance, if you now want to go into roles like you want to be a business analyst in future, their exact role you had in Nigeria that served as a teacher, they can call it a different name and optimize it. Okay, and by that optimization, you're now going to list things that you did in that school that still tilt towards business analysis. Okay, for instance, you can still call it a business manager with so and so school that you worked with. Then underneath it, you are going to list everything that you were able to teach them. That you're able to carry out elicitation method between the parents, the principal, the PTA, and this and that. And by that, you've been able to build your experience as a business analyst, even back from Nigeria. So your initial years of experience is not a waste. Okay, and that is what we are also here to talk about. How can you leverage those initial years that for you to be able to still have them to help you with respect to transitioning? So by the time that you've done that, and you've had a formal training as well with respect to that key sector, you can comfortably speak comfortably on those topics. And you can also have years of experience to back it up from the initial things that you've been able to do before. So this is how you will constantly optimize all those things that you've been doing and tilt it towards the sector or the tech ecosystem that you are trying to break into. So it's not rocket science. It is as simple as that. So that same way, if you look at data science also, there are some things that you've done in the past that also relates to data science. Maybe at one point in the other, you've carried out a project where you get to find out maybe the average earning power in your company. That is you doing maybe median, okay? Okay, that is you performing statistics without even knowing, which means you've carried out a data science function. Okay, you have carried out a data science function. And maybe in the past, you've been able to say, okay, bring this data, let's look at it and bring out insights from it. You have also practiced data analytics. So one way or the other, no matter where you are coming from, there's always a transferable skill from there into the tech ecosystem. So what will also help you to understand is to look for the place that you have those skills and the tech sector that it can comfortably fit you in. For instance, we had a lawyer. All of us on this call, we all know that lawyers can comfortably communicate, they can effectively communicate, which means this person can actually be a business analyst because you are going to be in tons of meetings. You are going to interact with several stakeholders, discussing on several points and being in several meetings, doing what we call product initiation planning. So because of that, you have a line towards business analysis. And you can also bring out things that you've done in the law environment and tilt it to serve and look as if you've been a business analyst also. So these are the easiest way and the best way that you can easily land a job in the tech industry. So I've shared nuggets right now. Remember, the top 8 courses that we have that will give you high reward on investment, and also how you can easily get into them, leveraging your initial years of experience. So your years of experience is not a waste. You are also still comfortably going to utilize it and be able to tilt it into the tech sector that you're trying to break into. So please, guys, make sure you fill the form so that you can have access to everything that we are talking about tonight, and also for you to have access to this slide. So first you learn. It is as simple as this, right? Most people sometimes want to jump the ladder. They want to earn what they do. Okay? For instance, if you've been in the crypto sector, or if you jumped into forex trading or things of that nature, and you got your hands burnt, that's what will now send you back to go and learn properly and come back to trade. And this is the challenge that most people have. Okay, so skills are things that are going to improve your earning power. Okay, and if you want to be able to earn well, you should be able to build more skills, because these are things that you can comfortably sell. These are things that you can outsource, and on the other hand, they will now bring back income to you. If you have no skill to sell, how do you want to earn? So most important thing that I also want us to know is that if you want to be able to get those top 8 jobs that we've talked about in UK, US, Canada, Africa, Asia, and all the other continents, if you want to be able to get them, first, you learn. Next, you earn. Okay? And skills are what is going to improve this for you. So I know many of us are wondering, but how can you do this within the next 4 months? How can Analytics help you within the next 4 months? So it's with these 6 steps that you can easily be able to transition. So I know, first of all, I asked us if we've been able to identify the career path that we want to get into. Okay? If we've been able to identify the career path that we want to get into. So let me use this to demonstrate it for us. We have Victoria. Victoria joined a masterclass like each and every one of you here. And what she said, oh, guys, my name is Victoria, and I'm a customer service person looking to become a tech talent. Okay? So next is for Victoria to identify a career path that she wants to get into. Okay? And next one is for her to learn using the models that we've been able to bring up. So our classrooms, remember, they are live classes. They are live instructor-led classes that you have someone like me talking to you physically on that call. If you have challenge, you call him back, ask questions. And then also the classes are recorded, that even if you missed anything, you'll still have option to go back to the recorded version and rewatch the class. Then next one is for you to also watch the self-paced video. Okay, so there's also a learning management system where materials and videos are also uploaded for you to watch and also have deeper understanding. Then the most important question when transitioning is, how do you learn? Okay, some people learn theoretically, some people learn by view, but the most important way to learn is also by using project-based model. Okay, project-based model, because these are things that's also going to serve as experience that you've been able to build over the years. When you learn using the project-based model, you will have enough projects to put in your portfolio. Okay? And when a recruiter sees your portfolio and can say, oh, Chukwemeka has worked in this project, in this exact sector, he worked in this project, in this sector, he worked in this, he worked in that, they will know that you at least have a reasonable knowledge in that sector you're trying to get into. I mean, if you search any job right now, you're definitely going to see you want someone that has experience using this tool, you want someone that has so experience. How do you get those experience without being on the job? That is where those project-based learning comes very, very handy as well. Okay, and next is for you to also gain those employability skills that I've also talked about, which I'm going to explain further in my next slide. That networking is very, very, very important. And it's something that Analytics also offers you. I'm going to show us a practical aspect of where networking helps someone here in Analytics to landing their own roles. And of course, mentorship sessions is also very, very vital with respect to you getting the job. And with these just 6 steps, you can move from being a customer service rep into getting a new role. Okay, I can see a question that Kemi is asking, what are the transferable skills from a fashion designer in Nigeria before, now a carer in UK, to business analyst? 100% Kemi, I'm happy that you've been able to identify business analysts. So simply speaking, as a fashion designer, I'm sure you do what we call process mapping without even knowing. Maybe you've written down what you want to do. First of all, you do your market survey, then you purchase your materials, then people come for measurements and fitting, then you move it to design, and of course, from design, you move it to production. That, okay, you are done designing, you've moved it out for production, which is the person coming back to pick up their clothes and, of course, do what we call tests. If it fits, they leave your house. If it doesn't fit, it goes back to design. So this is you performing process mapping without you even knowing. So comfortably, as a fashion designer that you used to be in Nigeria, you can say that you work as a business analyst for Chukwuemeka fashion brand. And then you list things that you did there that tilt towards business analysis. So this is how you leverage all those years of experience back into where you want to transition through. So that is how, when you look at every single thing that you've done, you can see a line of action towards these 8 courses that we've been able to bring out for you. Okay, so all this always seems impossible until it is done, which is why we always have success stories to tell you about people that have been able to do it in the past. So please make sure you fill the attendance form. When you get this slide, you can personally watch all what they had to say and also learn from them. So this is someone requesting for a reference letter from us. The reference letter request came in French, and we had to translate it to English, write our own recommendation letter, and translate it back to French and send to the company. Okay, so these are all success stories of how people have been able to move from their initial role and land a new job. So all these are success stories. So I want to ask us a very, very important question before I jump into explaining the different career paths, what each of them entails. You have a car and your car has points. Who are you going to give your car to repair for you? Are you going to give it to someone that is telling you, oh, I'm a graduate from Harvard with a mechanical engineering degree? Or are you going to give it to someone that is saying, oh, I don't have a mechanical engineering degree, but this is my workshop. I've been able to work on Benz, I've worked on Aston Martin, I've worked on Toyota. These are things that I've been able to do before now. Who are you going to give your car to repair for you? This or that? Let me hear from us. Okay, are you going to give it to the person that said, I have a degree from Harvard? Or are you going to give your car to the roadside person that is saying, oh, this is my workshop, I've repaired Aston Martin, I've repaired Benz, I've repaired Toyota. These are things I've been able to do. Who are you going to give your car to repair? Okay, I think Kenny mentioned that. Obina mentioned an experienced person. Gineka mentioned that. Ebera mentioned attendance. Okay, please also send the attendance form for people to also fill. And then IK mentioned the one with evidence. Okay, amazing. Now, why are we pursuing certification? Okay, why are we pursuing certification? In the tech ecosystem, it is a skill and competence-based environment more than certification. If we go to maybe a site like read.co.uk, you're going to see tons of jobs there. And what is going to mention is we want someone with experience in this, someone with experience in this. These are their need, must have. Okay, and then you see nice to have. That's where you might now start seeing things like have a degree. So let's quickly look at a data analyst portfolio. So for you to comfortably show evidence of things that you've been able to do in the tech ecosystem, portfolio and project is very, very important. Okay, portfolio and project is very, very, very important. And that is why we always walk everyone through how do you build your portfolio as a tech person. So no matter the sector you're trying to transition into, there's high need for you to be able to build a portfolio to show evidence of things that you've been able to do. For instance, this is a past student that joined our business analyst program. Okay, you can see that she worked on Unilever canteen ordering system. When you click on this project to explore projects, you are going to see things that she carried out as a business analyst. So I clicked on it and you can see what she was able to do. Okay, so let's just have a quick glance over what she did as a business analyst with this project. Okay, quickly, it is still coming up. Okay, why is it taking time to load? All right, it's up. So you can see that first of all, they identify the problem that this company is having. Okay, and the problem is they have rush during the lunch hours, the inefficient lunch breaks, limited food choices, and waste. Then they have to build the objective of what they want to achieve. Okay, and you can see it, and also build the business case, the executive summary, the business problem, the options that they have, the benefits of the changes that they want to make, the timeline for the project, the costs, the expected return, the risk associated with respect to that project. They performed also stakeholder analysis by identifying which people play a key role in this Unilever canteen ordering system. Perform the risk matrix and, of course, the SWOT analysis to know where are the strengths, where are the weaknesses, the opportunities, and, of course, the threats. Then you now start identifying the main features of what they want to see in the new build. So you can see them identifying it. This is the initial process map for that exact canteen ordering system. Okay, and after they've been able to put things that they want to put in, this is now the updated to be state of the canteen ordering system. Then they pushed all these things to sprints by identifying their user stories, the acceptance criteria, and then carefully now build it out. This is to show you how you can learn using process mapping, using project-based knowledge rather. Now, this is this individual learning business analysis by project-based approach. And the same way she worked on a project in FMCG sector, that's the same way she worked on a project from Sunshine Resort, which is hospitality sector, same project from British Airways, which is aviation industry, another one from ABC Retail, which is in the retail ecosystem, one from Max Corp, which is in the technology company, and of course from Tech Heaven, which is also electronic sector, then as East Travel Expense, which is a logistics company. She's been able to work on a project from more than 5 different sectors of the economy. Now, quickly, do you think that if you go for a job interview and this person comes for that same job interview, that they are going to give you the job and leave this person that has evidence of projects that she has worked on? Do you think you will get the job over this person that has evidence to show with respect to things that she's been able to do as a business analyst? So this is a general question. Let's just be honest to ourselves. A recruiter has gone through the person's portfolio. Oh, you've worked on something with FMCG, you've worked on something with the hospitality sector, you worked on the aviation sector, you've worked on ABC Retail, you've worked on retail sector, you've worked on electronics, and you've worked on logistics. Do you think you will get the job over this person that has evidence of things that they've been able to do? So it's not just about learning, it's about also having project-based knowledge that you are going to have in your portfolio to back everything that you've learned of. Okay? And the same way the business analyst is learning using a project-based model, that is the same way, no matter the tech career path you are moving into, it is important for you to learn it using the project-based aspect also. So you will have the opportunity to build your own portfolio. So I'm going to move into all those career paths I've talked about right now. I'm going to try to explain them in the next 15 to 20 minutes so that we can easily see what they entail and be able to identify the one that suits our own side of things. Okay? I hope people are still following me. So if you are still here, please type anything in the chat box so that I'll be sure that people can still hear what I'm saying and I'm not talking to myself. Okay, I can see Choma. Choma said yes. Joy, yeah. Sheila, yeah. Obina, yes. Hadiza, okay. And of course, others that are also typing in there. um, their comments. Which do you think is profitable, business analysis or financial analytics? So like I mentioned earlier, all the 8 courses offer high return on your investment. So they have it. So I'll just answer your question with one aspect. Do you think a business analyst that is working in oil and gas and maybe a financial analyst that is working in, let's say, a school, who do you think will earn more? So it's also down to the sector of the economy that you push yourself into. But what they all have in common is that all the 8 courses will definitely give you high return on your investment. Idara is typing anything. I know I mentioned typing anything. Okay, so let's dive into explaining each of these tech career paths. So what you do for me now is bring out your pen and paper and write down things as I'm saying it when it comes to your own sector or the career path you want to transition to, so that by the time I'm done, I'll open up the floor. You can ask your question, raise your hand, and we will tackle all the questions that we have. Okay, so the first one is the business analyst, right? First one is the business analyst. So who are the business analysts? So these are people that serve as the intermediate person between the non-technical team and the technical team in most companies. So they are the intermediates between the non-technical, the CEOs, the CFOs, the CCOs, all the C's that you can think of, and then the technical team, the software developers, the front-end guys, the back-end guys, making sure that information flows effectively from up to down and from down to up. Okay? So, and how do they make this to happen? Is by having understanding of requirements, fundamentals, and elicitation method. How do you elicit information from one party and pass it to the other person? For instance, the CFO have said to the business analyst, oh, in this core banking system that we are developing, I want by the end of the day, I want to click a button and it will show me all the balance we have in our suspect account or in our transit account, or maybe the money that people brought in above $1,000 per day, right? So the business analyst is going to move to the developer and say, okay, this is what the CFO wants to say. The guys are not going to say, oh, this may not be possible. Do you want us to tweak it like this or do it like that? So the business analyst is interfacing with all stakeholders, making sure that there is effective communication between all of them. Then you are also the process owner. So one of the most important things you'll be performing is to make sure that all the processes in the companies, that it is optimized and streamlined, okay? For instance, still using the financial sector as an example, before now, if you walk into any banking hall as at 2014, you notice a queue, okay? People come into the bank, enter the man trap door, queue up, get to the teller point, pick a form, go to one desk, fill it, come back, queue up again, and perform the transaction. Business analysts now looked at this and said, this is too tedious. How do you remove people from the banking hall? And that was the advent of agency banking. That was the advent of Gold Card, Master, Black Card, for people to easily go to the managers and perform their transactions. And of course, it was also the advent of internet banking and the mobile apps that we have for today. So these are business analysts thinking how to make the process better for people. Okay, so you are going to be learning process mapping. And of course, you also have understanding of project initiation planning and agile for Scrum for projects. So if you are someone that don't mind being in several meetings, effectively communicating, and try to optimize processes, then business analysis should be for you. And also because we've noticed that some business analyst roles is now asking for people with knowledge in Excel, Power BI, and SQL, so that they can be able to at least have knowledge of data. You also learn these 3 tools, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So the learning timeline for business analysis is for 4 months, where you learn immersively in the classroom for 2 months, and then intern and where you work on real life projects more for 2 months as well. So the class holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. So this is okay for people in Europe and UK and of course Africa. Then the evening class holds 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it's also beneficial to people in Canada and also US. And then on Sundays, you get what we call Watch Me Do It videos. So these are videos that the facilitator have prepared for you to watch. But Saturdays, you have your live classes. I hope we clearly understand who a business analyst is. Now, the next one is the Agile Project Managers, the Scrum Masters. So these are people that also serve as facilitators and coach in an Agile team. So they make sure that every individual is working using the Agile methodologies. Okay, and the things that you are going to be learning is, of course, you have general understanding of project management, the waterfall aspect, and of course, the Agile. Okay, you understand the methodologies and structures, and how do you communicate effectively as a PM. The next one is also understanding the foundations of Agile and Scrum before moving into the Scrum framework itself. Scrum artifact, how do you perform your increments? How do you do your sprint planning? How do you also do your product backlog? Then also advanced Scrum and Agile practices. How do you operate your daily stand-up meetings? Then you will learn end-to-end Jira and Confluence, which is the project management tool that will be very, very beneficial to you. Then I always tell people that sometimes waterfall may not work. Sometimes Agile may not work. Sometimes hybrid may not even work. And it's something as simple as Kanban boards workflow management that will be the framework that will work in that exact project that you want to do. So that is the reason why it's also important for you to learn Kanban boards. Then you also learn how do you know when your team is performing optimally or below par, right? That's where the Agile metrics and reporting now comes in fully. You also be able to be walked through the leadership and reward application of all these things and Nexus Scaled Scrum. Everything you'll be learning as in Agile project management will prepare you for your professional Scrum Master examination. And the learning timeline for Agile is also for 4 months. You learn it massively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you have an internship experience with us for 1 month, working on real life projects. Okay, so the classes holds every Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then every Sundays rather, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So they have 2 classes over the weekend, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays, and then 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. Now, let's look at the data analysis. So under data, we know that we have, under data analysis, we have basically 3 main types, right? That's your descriptive analytics, your diagnostic analytics, and your predictive analytics. Now, descriptive and diagnostic talks about what happened and why did it happen, okay? And these are the questions that the data analyst will be answering. For instance, on this call, the data analyst is going to say, okay, what happened is that we had 110 people join us on this call. And from there, he was able to see that 50 people joined from UK, 20 joined from US, 20 joined from Canada, and then maybe 10 joined, or the rest joined from Africa. This is telling the company, this is what happened. But it doesn't end there. You need to also be able to tell them why did that happen so that they can be able to make decisions from it. The data analyst can now say, okay, I looked at the marketing data and I was able to see that the marketers use 50% of the marketing budget to run ads in the UK market. And then they just use the 20% to do in US, the other 20 in UK, and the rest in Africa. And obviously, it will give us a hint on why what happened. What happened because the ads were run more in the UK market. So this is simply you analyzing the data and bringing out the insights from it. Now, it's simple. If the company wants to now break into the Asian market, it simply means that they need to apportion a portion of their marketing budget towards the Asian market to do marketing as well. So this is simply explaining what happened and why it happened. And how you can be able to make all these recommendations is by, first of all, understanding problem solving. So you'll be taught the different techniques to solve a problem, and then also have full understanding of Excel, from understanding the rows, the column, the cell, to moving into the formulas, the functions, and then moving into pivot table, and then your pivot chart. And of course, how do you build a dashboard? Then you also learn SQL, structured query language. How do you communicate with the database? So as a data analyst, there are instances where you need to bring out data from the database before analyzing it. How do you speak the language that the database understands? That's where SQL comes in. Then Power BI and Tableau, they have visualization tools as well that allows you to also connect to multiple data sources for you to also be able to analyze your data and bring out more insight from it. Okay, so you will be learning these things, and of course, data storytelling, and then ChatGPT for analytics, then Microsoft Fabric for analytics. The learning timeline is for 4 months as well, where you learn immersively in the classroom for 3 months, and then intern with us for 1 month. So the class holds every Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and also evening class, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Then on Sundays, you get a self-paced watch me do it video to introduce you to deeper concepts in this thing. So the next one is the data scientist. Okay, so who exactly is the data scientist? Now, data scientists, they go a step further to answer predictive analytics. Remember, the analyst is doing descriptive and diagnostics, which is what happened and why it happened. The data scientists will now go a step further to perform what we call predictive models, to build all those models. I prefer to call them the future tellers, okay? And how they make this happen to tell the future is by understanding statistics, okay? So they will have a general understanding of mean, median, mode. They'll understand forecasting and predictive analysis for them to be able to tell the future, and of course, also learn Tableau for data analytics. Then they will learn SQL as well, and then Python programming. So they will have in-depth knowledge of Python. I saw someone asking, Python is not in data analytics. Python is existing under data science, okay? And then you also have access to machine learning, computer vision, and also GitHub Copilot. So if you are looking to getting into the coding aspect of data, then you should be looking towards the data science, okay? Because that's where you learn Python programming, machine learning, computer vision that will enable you to also build predictive model that will tell the future. The class also is for 4 months, where you learn immersively in the classroom for 3 months, and you intern with us for 1 month. Then the class holds every Saturdays also, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. And then in the evening, you also get the classes for 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Then on Sundays, you get to watch your self-paced watch me do it videos that will introduce you to deeper concepts. I hope we are still following me to this very moment, and I'm not talking to myself. All right, so the next one is the data engineers. So these guys are more like, okay, if you come in the construction industry, the way you have your plumber that connects different pipelines, he's connecting the shower, the sink, the water system, he's channeling everything to the septic tank and also making water available through them from the tank as well. So that's the same way the data engineer builds the pipeline that makes sure that data flows easily within that exact space, okay? By connecting different architectures to each other and making sure that it is available. Agogo, I don't know what it means by why don't the videos play? I don't know. Are you talking about the video in the slide or each of them? Right? I mean, you can also respond to me in the chat box. So data engineers, like I mentioned, build all these pipelines to make sure that data flows easily between the system, the ecosystem. Okay, it flows easily within the ecosystem. All right, and things that you are going to be learning is introduction to data engineering. People that are still asking, are these certified? Like, we won't get certificate at the end of the program, you will get certification. But remember what I said earlier, the tech ecosystem is not certificate-based. It's more of skill and competence-based. All right, the one fintech I worked with, the CTO of that company didn't have any university degree, but he was the chief technology officer of the company. So the tech ecosystem is a skill and competence-based environment more than certificate-based. You will be given a certificate, but remember, it is more of the skill and competence that you get the projects and evidence that you've also been able to back it up. So for data engineering, you also be learning SQL, but the SQL will be different from the way the scientists and analysts are using it. For you, you are learning how do you put data into the database for it to be available for people. You also be learning Python programming and of course, Linux operating system. You will now learn ETL, extraction, transformation, and loading. How do you extract information from a website? How do you transform it in your IDE, your integrated development environment that can be a Google Colab or a Jupyter Notebook? And then how do you load it to a database to make that data available for the people that will make use of it? For instance, still using the financial sector, some people open accounts through mobile apps, some open through internet banking, some open through physical means. We even open accounts through social media these days. At any point that you go to the bank, you always want for your data to be there, notwithstanding the channel the account was opened through. Now, someone needs to build a pipeline that will connect all those different data sources to the core banking system that the company is making use of. Okay, so these are things that you will also be doing as the data engineer. And of course, Apache Spark, Apache Airflow. How do you now automate all these processes that you've been able to build? And also you thought GCP and Azure Cloud Engineering with respect to how do you manage, deploy, and scale data on the cloud. So these are things that pertains to data engineering. And of course, GitHub and then ChatGPT Copilot. So the learning timeline for data engineering is for 5 months. So it is for 5 months where you learn a massively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you intern with us for 2 months, okay? And then you intern with us for 2 months. The class holds every Saturday. Data engineers have only one class, and it is 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. West African time. And then on Sundays, they also get the self-paced Watch Me Do It video that introduces people to this deeper concept. Then the next one we have is the HR and financial analyst. So I'm going to explain both of them together, sort of, right? HR and financial analyst. So the same way data analyst learns Excel, Power BI, Excel, problem solving, Power BI, and SQL, that's the same way the financial analyst and the HR analyst will also learn it massively. Now, the difference is now, by the time the data analyst is going into Tableau, you as a financial analyst, you're not going into accounting fundamentals, having understanding of your 3-statement financial model, your balance sheet, your income statement, and your, what's the last one? Balance sheet, income statement, and I'm forgetting the last one, okay? And then you also be taught your financial model. How do you build your financial model, maybe a 5 years financial model, okay? Then valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis. The most important thing you are now learning is how do you learn how to use all those to Excel, Power BI with respect to the financial aspect, okay? How do you streamline it to the financial industry? Then HR analysts as well will learn the same 4 things first, okay? We learn the same 4 things first. And then the next is now, how do you learn how to utilize them with respect to performance evaluation? How do you learn how to utilize them with respect to your metrics and life cycle management? Yeah, that's cash flow. Thank you for that, Choma, right? And then how do you also learn how to utilize Excel, Power BI with respect to your dashboarding and collaboration and report automation? So clearly, financial analysts and HR analysts are like data analysts that have streamlined towards the financial aspect of things and also towards the HR and people aspect of things. So the learning timeline is also for 4 months, where you learn in the classroom massively for 3 months, and then intern with us for 1 month. So the class holds every Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Watts, and also the evening class, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Then on Sundays, you get your self-paced Watch Me Do It videos to introduce you to deeper concepts. Now, the last but not the least are these guys, the cybersecurity guys. So these are people that basically they serve as the protectors of our digital assets. So the same way your WhatsApp, you have your facial recognition, you have your thumbprint, you have your password. to protect people from having access to it. That's the same way companies need someone to protect the digital assets that they have. So you'll be learning these basic things. First of all, introduction to cybersecurity, and of course, your foundations of computing and networking. Because as someone trying to get into cybersecurity, first thing is for you to have understanding of what is LAN, what is WAN, what is subnetting, all those basic things, computer science that I was supposed to have. You'll be taught all those things before you now move into information security principle, which is having understanding of the CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. Then next is you have understanding of offensive and defensive cybersecurity. How do you perform an attack, and how do you defend an attack also? How do you perform an attack, and how do you defend an attack also? Remember, all these things that you are learning a tool that's attached to it. For instance, when we're talking about pen testing, they're going to be learning Metasploit for exploitation. They're going to be learning your Nmap and Nexus with respect to scanning. They're going to be learning Bob Suits with respect to web application exploitation. And of course, Wireshark for your network analysis. So when you're talking about network security, you're learning how to utilize Wireshark with respect to it. When you're talking about endpoint security, you're learning how to use Metasploit for it. When you're talking about cloud security, you're also learning how to utilize the tool that is meant for it. So every key learning point area that we have a tool that's attached to it for your own learning journey. So the learning timeline for cybersecurity is also for 4 months, where you learn massively in the classroom for 3 months, and then intern with us for 1 month. So the class holds every Saturdays, one class, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then on Sundays, you get another class, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So these are basically me explaining all the courses that we have. So I hope right now we've been able to see the difference between all of them and how they play a key role, and if we can be able to transition to each one of them. So I always try to tell people that one thing is sure: how do we guarantee that you don't fail? Okay, one is that if you try, you have 2 possibilities: the possibility of you failing and the possibility of you succeeding. These are 2 possibilities before you. But if you don't try, you only have 1 possibility, which is instant failure. Okay, but how do we guarantee that you do not fail? That is by using our formula, winning formula that we've been able to apply over the last couple of years to make sure we move people from our classroom to landing their first role. And number 1 is technical skills. So everything I've been talking about before now has been on the technical aspect of things, the things that you're going to learn: Apache Spark, Power BI, Excel, SQL. Those are the technical skills. But it is not complete without the employability skill, because that is what gives you your job offer. And that is where the services we also provide to you comes in. So for instance, for you to apply to roles in data analytics, there are some roles that you see, it's talking about marketing analyst, sales analyst, logistics analyst. Are you going to use one CV to apply to all these roles? The answer is no. And that is where we make mistakes. All of us, when we apply to jobs, it's just easy apply, easy apply, easy apply. We don't tailor the jobs to the job that we are going for. So it's important for us to learn, how do I tailor this job to the job I am going for? And these are things that you'll be taught in the classroom. So you are not going, it's not just about us doing your CV for you. No, we'll teach you how to optimize your CV for each role that you are going for. So it's more like we'll teach you how to fish instead of giving you a fish. Then LinkedIn optimization as well. How do you remain relevant on LinkedIn? Okay, if when recruiters want to hire these days, they'll just simply go to LinkedIn, search for who have said anything on machine learning, and then everybody that posted on machine learning will come out and they'll just personally headhunt. So for you to be able to be visible, you need to be able to also engage on LinkedIn. Then how do you navigate the job market? These are also sessions where we bring in experts, recruiters to the classroom to walk you through the different job boards that exist that you can utilize to landing your job. And also, when you land a job interview rather, we are available to prepare you for interview. So it's more like a mock interview preparatory class where we ask you questions from the job description. How do you answer situation-based question, which is situation using the STAR framework, which is situation, task, action, and results. For instance, you've gone for an interview and they're saying, Chukwemeka, tell me about a time in the past where you've been able to analyze the data from the health sector and the insights you're able to bring out from it. I can comfortably say, while I was consulting with analytics, I was able to work on this project that came from ER hospital analysis, where I performed these tasks, and these were the actions I took, and these are the results. And because of it, it helped the business to increase their revenue by 5%. So when you speak like this, recruiters are going to know, oh, this person have had experience with respect to the place that he's trying to get into. And we're also available to provide recommendation and reference letters for you. Because we are working on real life projects, we are also available to provide all those recommendation and reference letters for you. Then we also provide on-the-job support that even when you land a job, if you've still not found your fit, we are available to support you on that road so you can easily fly high. Then we have the weekly mentorship sessions where we bring in experts also to talk to you about a day in the life of anything you're trying to enter. And of course, Upwork session that you can easily utilize for you to play in the contractual space. So this is a learning management system that when you join, you have access to and be able to learn through the learning management system as well. So I know people are asking, is it only these 17 people I've shown before now that have been able to get jobs? That is not it. So we have tons and tons of people that have gotten jobs. In fact, if you look at my screen, this is where networking our alumni network helps each other. So this is Anointing Stephen. If you see the first thing here, it's talking about, I just want to say a very big thank you for providing me with a reference. Okay? And the next one is still, I am still getting offers, but I don't know who I can recommend. If you have anybody who is solid enough that I can recommend in case another comes forth within Scotland area, please send them across my way. And trust us, we sent people from our own community. And 2 of those guys got that job in Scotland. So these are the beauty of what the networking can also give to you. These are also other jobs that people were able to get. So please make sure that you fill the attendance form so that personally on your own, you can go through the slide and be able to hear what they had to say. These are all success stories of people that move from one road to the other. And we will have sessions where past students came back to a session like this and they are now being asked questions directly. So you can also have access to the recorded version of those classes and be able to watch what they had to say. I think there are 4 different sessions here where you can easily hear what they had to say. Okay, and the amazing thing, the most important aspect is our next cohort is starting by December 7th. So next class starts by December 7th. Remember what I said, if your plan is to break into the tech industry by January, the time for you to start entering is right now. If you wait till the end, it may not, you'll end up procrastinating. So it's important for you to start your journey as fast as possible. So our next cohort starts by December 7th, and we'll have an amazing discount for you. So all the courses that I've mentioned before now goes for $750, but we'll have a 20% discount currently ongoing for first 20 people to join from this call, right? To have 20% discount for the first 20 people to join, which means instead of you to pay $750, you end up paying $600. And how can you secure your spot? So if you click on the link that my colleagues are dropping in the chat box, it's going to bring you to this Tenalytics Enrollment Center. So it's going to bring you to this page called Tenalytics Enrollment Center. All you have to do is to scroll down and look for the course that you want to register for. So if you scroll down here, you're going to see all the courses that we offer. You're going to see our special offer as at now, which is a 20% discount. The full amount is $750, currently discounted to $600. You scroll down, you will see data analytics, business analysis, full stack data science, data engineering, and others. So let's assume I want to go for data analytics. All I have to do is simply click on register for DA. So it brings you to this page where you can now secure your spot. So you have the opportunity to make your payment one-off, okay? And you have the opportunity to also make that payment in 2 installments. And you also have the opportunity to make it 3 installmental payments, which means instead of you to make the $600 once, you can decide that you want to pay it twice, or you can decide you want to pay it 3 times. So let's assume I want to pay 3 times. I'll simply click on 3 months payments and click on proceed to pay. So right here, it's showing me that the first payment is due today. Next one is due by December 7th, and the last one by January 7th. So all I have to do is now click on proceed and fill in my details and pay for the product. As simple as that. So no matter where you're joining us from France, from UK, from Germany, it automatically takes the equivalence of your currency. So for instance, if you're joining from UK and want to pay $200, it takes 155 pounds, which should be the equivalent, as at when you want to make payments, right? And make payments. So once you are done, all you have to now do is go back to this main page again and upload your receipts. Someone from our team will now reach out to you to have discussion with you with respect to your registration. Also, you have the opportunity to do what we call deferment, which means you can secure your spot for December. You can make payments and secure your spot, but you would defer to start in January. So what it does is that it protects you from any economic changes. If by January the price changes to $1,000, it is not going to affect you because you've secured your spot. So you can secure your spot now, but defer to start by January. So that helps you to lock it down at the existing price and be able to start when that January starts. So remember what I mentioned, this is for the first 20 people for this call. So specifically for this call that we're having, if you join right now, you're going to see that it is for the first 20 people, that the discount is still available for the first 20 people. So you can see it here, 20 seats available right here. So you can see 20 seats available right here. By the time people from the call start making payments, the 20 seats begins to drop. So I always advise people to try and secure their spots as fast as possible, because once these 20 seats is filled up, the payments reverse back to the full amount, which is $750. So at this moment, I don't know if there is any question from anyone. You can use raise hand icon and I will call you up to speak. Or you can drop your question in the chat box and I will pick it up from there. So any question from anyone, you can use raise hand icon and I'll call you up to speak, or you can drop it in the chat box and I will pick up the question from there. So the floor is yours right now. So all the questions that we have, this is time for us to ask it, and I'm going to try to do justice to it in the next 15 minutes. Any question from anyone, can use the raise hand icon and I'll call you up to speak. I can drop it in the chat box and I'll pick it up from there. Okay, I think Eloho, I think that's your indication of trying to raise your hand. Okay, so there's an easy way to raise hand. There's an easy way to raise hand, but I'm going to look for you and ask you to unmute and ask your question. Hi, Eloho. I've asked you to unmute, ask your question. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm just wondering the different aspects of your training. Actually, a chartered accountant from Nigeria with ICANN, but and with a lot of experience in accounting, but found myself in the UK. Actually just finished studying data science with a good grade. Just wondering, do I need to go for the financial analyst, or since I've been quite trained in data analytics or data science, maybe I should go for the data analytics since everyone I'm just wondering. And then some school of thoughts are saying it's best to go for business analytics. So I'm a bit confused on the path to follow.
All right, that's fine. I understand you clearly, Loho. So clearly you have accounting background. You've done things that pertains to data science as your master's, and possibly also have experience in financial related things. So easily for you, you have a line of entry into the tech through the financial analyst track. You have the data science track, and of course the data analytics. I may not recommend data analytics for you, and that's because of two things. One, you've had data science experience, which I believe you've been able to get things into machine learning and computer vision and things of that nature. So easily, I would advise you that if you are looking to be able to break into both data analytics or data science role, you should be going for data science, because it gives you the opportunity to be able to land roles that exist in data analytics and also pursue courses that exist in data science. Okay, so this is me speaking from the opinion that you already have data analytics experience by virtue of your MSc, right? So it's now better for you to advance it with the data science and learn machine learning, computer vision, Python programming, statistics, practical base, and be able to improve your career from there. But if you are looking to streamline yourself and not be in the open market, because as a data scientist, you have opportunity to break into any sector, any field really. Data science gives you that. But if you want to still play from the accounting perspective, then you should still be looking towards financial analytics. Right? It now depends on you whether you want to go into the coding aspect of tech, or whether you want to play it safe and be just a financial analyst that will just be analyzing financial data. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Eloho.
Yeah, it's making sense, even though it's making sense, yeah. But is it the same? Are they data science and data analytics? Is it the same amount for the training?
Yes.
What's the difference in the courses?
Yes, so all our courses are the same pricing, but the key learning areas differ. So whether you're going to data analysis or data science or cyber security or any of them, is the same $750 discounted to $600 at the moment. Okay, so all the courses are the same pricing.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Eloho. So for people that have specific questions tailored like this, within the week, you will get a message from one of our community managers asking you to book a free one-on-one conversation. So we may not be able to touch base with all the 100 people on this call. But that free consultation, you can easily book to speak with us by 9 a.m. Watts, or by 12 noon Watts, or by 3 p.m. Watts, or by 8 p.m. Watts. So we are available to talk to you around the clock. Okay, so when that exact email comes or the message comes in our group chat, please let's make sure that we book those one-on-one conversations, even if you've not been able to secure your spot. Okay, and they want to have that one-on-one conversation before you move into your particular area. I would advise you to secure your spot and then book the one-on-one conversation. We are going to make changes to the place that you want to move into, right? So next is Obinna. Hi, Obinna. I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead with your question. Hi, Obinna.
Please kindly mute me.
Okay. Hello. I've muted you back. Obinna, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Please go ahead with your question.
Okay, so my name is Obinna Okeke. So currently I'm in data analytics cohort, but I would like you to elaborate on full stack data science for me.
Okay, are you a data analyst with us?
Yes.
Okay, All right, so data, full stack data science, when it comes to data analytics, rather, you are answering two basic questions of descriptive and diagnostic, which is what's happened and why it happened. All right, you are answering two questions: what happened and why it happened, and how you make that to come to fruition is by learning problem solving, different techniques to solve the problem. Then Excel from the rows, columns, cells to moving to your formulas function, to your pivot table and your pivot chart, and of course your full dashboard. Then you also have knowledge of SQL, which is how do you communicate with database. Then also Power BI and Tableau, which is there are also visualization tools that enables you to visualize data and connect to multiple data sources. But when we talk about data science, it's more of predictive analytics. So you're now going to the aspect of telling the future, which you can only do by building predictive models, where you now start learning things like statistics fully, learning predictive analytics using Excel, and of course, going into Python programming, going into machine learning, and then computer vision. So data science is more of you moving into the coding aspect of data and being able to build predictive model from your codes to be able to tell the future. I don't know if that answers your question, Isli, now. I'm hoping now.
Yeah, so I was kind of wondering why they call it, what is a full stack data science? Is there anything special about that?
Okay, so why you call it full stack? You know, when you hear about full stack engineer, it means that the person has the knowledge of the front end and the back end, which means they can also perform those front end activities like analytics function, and they can also do the coding aspect of it, which is where all those Python programming comes in. So as a full stack data scientist, you can actually be able to work as a data scientist, as a data analyst rather, and also be able to work as a data scientist. So that's why it is full stack, because they also can use Tableau to build all those analytics models. They can also use Excel, they can also use SQL that the analyst is using. And then on the other hand, they can also be able to use Python, use machine learning, use computer vision to also code things into existence. I don't know if that makes sense to you now.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Obinna. Okay, I think there is no other hand up. Let me look at the chat box. Once you pay, what is next? That's from Adjo. So Adjo, once you make your payments, just on that same link, on the same initial mains enrollment page, please go that same place and upload your receipts. So if you click on it, that's where you fill in a couple of details that we are going to use to reach out to you. Right? We don't have your phone number, we don't have your email, we don't have anything yet. So but once you click on that, upload your receipts and fill those questionnaire, we are going to now respond to you with the welcome kit. I hope that answers your question, Adjo. Kemi is saying, okay, iPhone, you're raising your hand. I may not be able to identify you. All right, Nonso said, what if I want to start at a later date than January, because I have another course which will start by January and end in March next year. All right, so the deferment option runs till January, because you can easily still say, okay, by January, economy may be like this or may be like that, but we may not really allow you to secure your spot and defer till March, because by then, nobody knows how the economy will be dancing with the way our political landscape has just been reshaped in the last a few days ago with the whole election and all. So you can secure your spot and defer for 1 month, but you may not be able to defer till March next year. Okay, but what can happen is you can secure your spot and defer to start by January. If there's any price changes, definitely you'll be called upon to make all those adjustments. But the deferral is for January. You have option to defer for 1 month. Kemi said, I have just finished training in BA, but my confidence level is still very low. What do you advise? All right, Kemi, so basically, what I advise you is to work on projects, work on multiple projects. The truth is also, there are limitations to what trainings can actually give to you. It's not for you to now source for data and be able to work on more projects that will boost your morale. Because these are things that will make you to be heavy on, oh, I know these things, I've worked on this, I've worked on that, and be confident in yourself. I don't know if you're a current student. We also have mentorship sessions where we talk about these things to boost, because people always have this inferiority complex that we feel most times, that we feel, okay, we don't know, even though that we know them. So I always advise you to also look for mentors that is going to guide you on this exact journey. Abby is asking, what is data engineering like a specialization? And after the course, does the person have variety of places to work in? Thank you. So you are taking me to questions that I've already answered. So as data engineers, like I said, you are like diploma in construction companies that helps to build pipelines that connect water to different sources in the building. So that's the same way the data engineer in the data ecosystem is building different pipelines to connect data and make it available for people. So it's making sure that data is connected around the business and make it available for everyone. You can connect data from connect data from social media, move it to the company's database, connect from that web page and move it to the database, connect from mobile app and move it to the database, and make all these things available for people working with it. So your main role is more of data lifecycle management. You manage data from the beginning of its existence to the end. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. Please, I have a question. Similarly, please go ahead and ask your question. You can drop it in the comments or you can raise your hand and we'll answer it. Please, how much is the gathered amount in pounds? So in pounds, it should be, okay, it's 20% really. Let me not shoot myself in the leg. So just do the mathematics from anywhere you're joining us. $750 is the full amount, then discounted is $600. $750 is the full amount, discounted is $600, okay? This how much is, okay, with regards employer reference, do you give references for just the duration of the program, or you can give references for a longer duration? If you do, the reference come from company name, right, or a different company name. Sometimes here in Canada, all right, I understand what you're trying to say, Idara. So 100%, we always advise people to use when they've started, right? So we'll have someone that maybe they trained with us maybe they trained with us as in January. And in their CV, you can clearly see that they started working with us from January this year until this November. Even though that program has ended, right? They can still leave it valid. But for us to backdate it, that might be a little bit hard for us. And so what we do is we allow you to be able to continuously live it there. Okay, you did your training from January and you want to say, okay, this is December, but you want it to reflect that you've been with us in January, that's 1 year, 100% is allowed. But if you're looking to now say, oh, you've been with us since 2020, that might be a little bit challenging for us. I hope that makes sense to you, Idara. Okay, OG is asking, do you need CompTIA A+ as a prerequisite to do cybersecurity with ICT or IT Tutorial Institute? Fantastic. So OG, basically in our cybersecurity program, we have people that have CompTIA A+, we have people that have CNNA, we have people that have CISA, but they are coming here to get the practical knowledge on how do you use Metasploit, how do you use Wireshark, how do you use Nmap, how do you use Nexus. So what we offer is more of the practical aspect of it, okay? The certification when it comes to cybersecurity is there are a lot of certification there. Some people even have their CEH, which is Certified Ethical Hackers. But what we give you is full practical aspect of it. So prerequisites, you can come with them, you may not come with them. Most important thing is that we are going to walk you through everything that you need to know from beginner level to expert level. Please, can you talk about data analysis, like background of it and what it's all about? Boy alone, I think I've handled this very well. So you may want to fill the attendance form and go through the recordings, okay? So that you have access to the recording and also to the slide that we are using, okay? Please, can you share the links for registration again? I'm sure my colleagues will share with you. What course we advise someone experienced in banking operations, cash, and customer experience service to go for? Chioma Ajunoma. Okay, I may not be able to handle this right now because we are almost short of time. So what I advise you to do, Chioma, is in the community you are coming from, you are going to get a link to book free one-on-one consultation. Right, you are going to have myself, the founders, or some of my team members there to answer your questions pertaining to where you want to move into. Okay, so we can have enough time to ask you questions, to understand your personality, so that we can be able to make appropriate recommendations for you. Okay, but in the meantime, please make sure that you secure your spot so that when you come for the consultation, by the end, even if you said you want to be data analyst in the beginning while securing your spot, you can still change it to business analytics or change it to data science or anything that we agreed. But make sure that you secure your spot so that you will not miss out on the discount that is currently ongoing. Okay, so Joe said, please tell me the difference between data analytics and business analytics. I'm sorry, Joe, you have to go and watch the recording so that you can be able to have access to the recorded version of this class. If not, people are going to ask me to start from beginning to explain everything that I've been able to say tonight. So there are lots of questions. Do you help people in Africa for job networking opportunities in the country you mentioned during the session? Of course, we have people in Africa that we help also. What if you don't have any work experience and the only thing you have is your education for analytics? How sure is that you will get a job? So honestly, Sam, we are not miracle workers. We are not Jesus. We are not everything that you might be thinking of, right? If you don't have any initial work experience, there are little to things that we can do for you. But the bright side of it is that if you don't even train with us, you still won't get all those experience that you're looking for. So you have to start somewhere, right? You don't have the existing experience. Maybe you're just finishing your first degree. You've not worked anywhere. You have to start somewhere to build all those experience. And analytics is very much the perfect place for you to start building it. If you are saying, okay, because I don't have any initial transferable skill or experience that I have, that means you are never going to start. Okay, so what I advise you is still try to secure a spot and learn a course, right? Because if you have no initial experience, that means you've not worked anywhere at all. If you do not train to get a skill, you still may not be able to work anywhere at all. Okay, I think I still have Zara. Guys, we have a lot of questions here and we may not be able to take all of them. Can I use data analytics course as a background into going into IT? I have bachelor's in chemical engineering. So like I said, anything that is specific to us looking at your background, please book a free one-on-one consultation so that we can also ask you questions, because the information that we are giving is limited for me to make recommendations for you. So within the week, we have one-on-one consultations that happen. So please book them and then we'll have this conversation, look at your background and be able to make recommendations for you easily. As I have done a training with data analytics, but I want to do data science. Of course, we have discounts for returning students. We have 5% discount for returning students, which you are going to enjoy. In relation to reference and someone who has LinkedIn profile indication works in audit firm and all her experience being audit, wouldn't the recruiter know your experience is mainly audit? Nice one, Abjo. So what I always recommend to people is when transitioning, you are not optimizing only your CV. You're also optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So you've worked in an audit firm. I always tell you one thing. As an auditor, you've been able to audit several departments. What makes you think you can't speak from that exact department? I used to work as an IT auditor in the bank, right? And if you ask me to speak from this customer service perspective, I'll speak from it 100% because I can't audit what I don't know, all right? So what it means is that as an auditor, you've audited several departments in that exact financial company, which means that you have knowledge in those places. So you can build and optimize your CV and your LinkedIn to look like in those IT sector. Okay, can people living in Nigeria get remote work from UK, US, and Canada without having to leave Nigeria? 100% you can. Is it going to come easily for you? Nope, it's not going to be easy, but you can be able to do it. So guys, I think I've been able to take tons and tons of questions. So please, within the week, we are going to get a one-on-one consultation for you to book a free consultation with us, where you have people that are far more experienced than myself, people that are far more enlightened than myself, to be able to give you insight into your own question. Please, will you recommend me doing financial analysis or data depending on my role as an auditor? Adjo, like I said, I can't give you direct response right now because I need to ask you questions. How well versed are you with financial modeling as of now? Are you, introverted or extroverted? There are some things I need to be able to ask you for me to make decisions for you, and you may not be able to answer them right here. So that's why I'm saying everyone that have those specific questions, please just block our Calendly link that my colleagues are going to share in your communities. If you block it, we'll have session one-on-one to ask you questions and then be able to help you. Okay, so thank you everyone so much. It's been a very interactive class, and I really love sessions like this. Like I mentioned, remember the discount is just for the first 20 people, and even though you've not selected the career path to go through, you can secure your spot. And while uploading your receipt, you can choose, I want to speak with an expert. Okay, and I'll be live there to have conversations with you. So all these are still success stories of people that have been able to move in the past from our classroom to landing their roles. This slide is filled with success stories. And that's why I said, please make sure that you fill the attendance form for you to be able to go through it personally on your own and be able to hear from what they had to say. So thank you to each and every one of you for being with me from 8 p.m. West African time to roughly 10 p.m. West African time. Over the last 4 years I've been playing this sector, we've helped over 2,000 people transition from our classroom into landing their first role. And our students work in these amazing places. I always tell people that our highest employer of labor is NHS, because they also give visa sponsorship easily. We've played a couple of things with respect to CSR. Please make sure that you key into this community. So thank you to each and every one of you for being with us till this very moment. On behalf of my founder, Adeza Suleiman, and my co-founder, Efemena Ipo, I say thank you once more. Remember, the best time to get into the tech ecosystem is right now. And if you wait till January, you may not be able to do it. Why not secure a spot now and start your learning experience right now? Okay? Thank you everyone once more, and thank you again. Do have a wonderful day ahead. Cheers guys, and bye for now. Bye guys.